She runs a billion-dollar tech empire. But last night, I found her on the kitchen floor eating cheap cereal and crying. It was 2:45 in the morning, and the neon hum of the city was the only thing keeping me awake at the front desk of the most exclusive hotel in Manhattan. I'm used to the high rollers, the guys who walk in like they own the air you're breathing. But then there's Mrs. Montgomery. She's the CEO of a global tech giant, and usually, she treats me like a piece of the lobby furniture. Then, the private line from the penthouse starts buzzing. When I answered, I expected a complaint about the pillows or a request for a vintage champagne that costs more than my rent. But her voice, it wasn't cold. It was shaking. She just whispered, "Please, I need someone who doesn't know who I am." I took the service elevator up, my heart hammering against my ribs. When the doors opened, the penthouse was silent, but it was a disaster. Not a party disaster. It looked like someone had tried to pack up a whole life in 10 minutes. Suitcases were flipped over, designer dresses were tossed like trash, and there, sitting on the cold marble floor of the kitchen, was the most powerful woman in the city, eating a bowl of generic, sugary cereal from a crumpled box. She looked up at me, mascara running down her face, and she didn't look like a CEO. She looked like a kid who was lost at the mall. She pointed to a small, battered cardboard box on the counter. It wasn't jewelry. It wasn't gold. It was old Polaroids. Dozens of them. "I spent 20 years building a kingdom," she said, her voice cracking. "And I forgot to actually live in it. I don't even remember the names of the people in these photos. And they're my cousins. I didn't offer her a business strategy. I didn't call her ma'am. I just walked over, sat cross-legged on that expensive marble floor right next to her, and asked her to tell me about the first photo. We sat there for 3 hours. We didn't talk about stocks, or mergers, or the board of directors. We talked about growing up in a small town in Ohio, about the smell of rain on hot asphalt, and the way her grandmother used to make burnt toast. For those 3 hours, she wasn't a billionaire. She was just Diane. As the sun started to bleed through the skyscrapers, she stood up and wiped her face. The mask was sliding back on. The spine went straight. The eyes turned back to ice. She looked at me and said, "Forget you saw me cry, Lucas. It's bad for the brand." I just nodded. I didn't see a CEO, Diane. I just saw a neighbor. The next day, she checked out. She didn't say a word to me. She didn't even look my way as she swept through the lobby with 5 assistants trailing behind her. But when I went to clock out, my manager handed me a heavy, wax-sealed envelope. Inside wasn't a tip. It was a deed. A small, 3-bedroom house in that same town in Ohio she'd talked about, fully paid off, and a tiny note that said, "Go visit your family, Lucas. Don't wait 20 years to remember their names." Sometimes, the people who have everything are the ones who realize they have absolutely nothing at all. If you found a secret like that, would you keep it? Type yes or no in the comments.